Good morning everyone, actually good night, it's 1 a.m. after midnight. So with MG4 Luxury 64 kilowatt version, I am going to have a trip which is around 1,200 kilometers. A round trip actually, 600 kilometers drive and back 600 kilometers to Istanbul. From Istanbul to Kastamonu, one of the biggest cities in Turkey. I mean the land is biggest. So we are going to see if we can have a trip which is around 1,200 kilometers. And thank God something was working and it now stopped. Okay, let's begin. From start 0, from last charge 0, accumulated total 0. The altitude is 22 meters at the moment, but the route that we are going is around 500 meters. So you need to know that along this route we are going to climb. When we get the final results, we also should consider the altitude while judging it. Getting the first 100 kilometers mark and the consumption is 18.5 kilowatt hours. The weather is 17 Celsius degrees, but there are really lots of wind, and because of that wind the consumption is really high, especially if we think we are driving with 100 kilometers per hour speed. The first part of the journey is finished. I came here at 18%, now it is charging. 18.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. The average speed is actually 87 kilometers, but it keeps dropping as I stopped. 231 kilometers. There was really strong wind. We were climbing. We started with 22 meters of altitude from sea level, and at the moment we are at 240 meters. The temperature is 16 degrees Celsius. Under these conditions, it's not the best, but okay. So see you at the next update. We have driven from 22 meters of altitude to 1,022 meters of altitude from sea level. Of course, this affects the energy consumption. So I had some food, took my coffee, and until I came here, the percentage is 95, state of charge is 95%. I am going to wait, another maybe 10 minutes, then keep driving. I don't know why my car doesn't charge up to 100% on fast chargers. Again, it stopped at 97%, and from 18% to 97%, it took 58 minutes. The outside temperature dropped to 10 Celsius degrees. I'm having my second charge today, and I have approximately 160 kilometers to my destination. Actually, I don't need it, but I just didn't want to risk it. That's why I am charging now. I am going to give you the final data when I get my destination. Okay guys, we are charging the car now, and we are going to start the second part of our 1,200 kilometers of trip. Let's begin. The first phase of the returning trip is finished. I have driven 152.3 kilometers. The average energy consumption is 17.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Yesterday, while I was driving to my destination, from this charger to my destination, the energy consumption was 25 kilowatt hours because we were climbing up to 1,022 meters. But now we are driving back to Istanbul, and as you know, Istanbul is just at the same altitude of sea. So we are driving from 1,000 meters to 0 meters altitude to sea level. That is why our energy consumption is lower. Actually, the temperature is same. Yesterday, when I was charging here, it was actually 16 degrees, but today is 15. And while I was driving here, like 30 minutes ago, it was actually 10 Celsius degrees. When you are climbing and the weather is cold, the consumption is really high, but as you can see, even the temperature is low. If you are driving to lower altitude, you get better energy consumption, of course. So see you at next update. Hello everyone. So far we have made 994.4 kilometers. Average consumption is 19.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometer. The average speed, do not trust that average speed data, because whenever you stop, it counting down. So actually it should be at least 100 kilometers, because I never used the car under 100 kilometers, and most of the journey I used between 130 and even 170 kilometers per hour speeds. I didn't try to get the longest range from the battery, and I have left 131 kilometers. At the end of the journey, I am going to give you full data. The total journey took 1,140 kilometers. I was expecting 1,200, but it's close. And the average consumption is 19.1 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Average speed is not true. You can say this at least 100 kilometers of average speed, because I have driven the car between 100 and 170 kilometers, and except the times that I stopped, it should be 100 kilometers of average speed. So this was my 1,140 kilometers of trip with MG4 64 kilowatt hours version. You can make long journeys with this car. As always, thank you for watching and have a great day.